Today's story is about escaping for life. There was a man named Reza, a smart, understanding man but unlucky and poor. He was a simple laborer, and after his wife's death, he raised his young daughter alone, because he had to go here and there for work. Sometimes he would leave his daughter with the neighbors. A kind woman named Atefe unexpectedly came to see Reza one day. A few officers with an arrest warrant. What was the charge? Theft. Theft of jewelry from a mansion where he had worked as a laborer some time ago. No matter how much he said he did his job and left, no one listened. The evidence was against him. Fingerprint traces. Even one of the employees said they saw Reza lurking around the safe. Everything came together for the court to issue a verdict in a short session. 3 years in prison. Reza, who knew he was innocent, day and night in prison, he thought about how to prove his innocence. But who would believe him when he was already in prison? Small, simple. In a remote town, the guards weren't very strict, the walls were cracked. There wasn't even a proper camera. Reza realized from the start that if he wanted to escape, now was the time. Within a week, Reza had drawn up a precise plan. At night, when one of the guards was dozing off as usual, Reza used a piece of wire he had pulled from one of the boards to unlock the door. He quietly and silently crawled out, climbed over the broken wall behind the prison and escaped. The next day, the guards noticed his absence, and the whole town was in chaos as they searched everywhere for him. However, Reza had left during the night to avoid getting caught, and to be able to be with his daughter again, who was still being cared for by his neighbor. Around the same time, the police came across a new lead. A surveillance camera from a shop opposite the robbed house had a recording that was just reviewed. In that footage, the real thief was identified. It was one of the homeowner's former colleagues who had a spare key and had planned the theft. In short, everything was revealed. The police realized that Reza was innocent. As soon as his innocence was proven, they started looking for Reza. A few days later, when Reza had secretly returned to his street to see his daughter, the officers respectfully approached him, and this time not for arrest, but to apologize. They officially apologized to him at the police station. They apologized to him. Even the media broadcasted the news. The owner of those jewels was a wealthy but fair man. When he found out what had happened to Reza, he felt compassion. He came forward and said, "These jewels are yours now. For the mistake we made, this is the least I can do." At first Reza didn't accept, but when he thought of his little daughter, who was now ready to start school, he had no money. He was convinced. He sold the jewels, bought a small house with the money, opened a shop, and his life turned around. Now Reza is a successful man, and at night he sleeps next to his daughter without fear, without stress, with a smile.